Now, let's go ahead and talk about cross multiplication. So this is how we're going to actually solve these proportions. We'll do it the long way first to show why it works. So now we see division here. X is being divided by 12. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 12. Okay? And of course, that gives me 12 over 1 times 3 over 4 on the left side. And then I can break up the right side. And again, manipulate this around so that I have these things that divide evenly. So I moved the 4 around, but if you multiply those back out, we're just going to see that this reduces a lot nicer. Okay, so now we have that x equals 9. We ahead and solve that. Okay, now looking at this, what we're going to see is that there's actually a much easier way of going about this. Okay, so pause the video and actually see if you can kind of see where these multiplications might come from. It might be a little hard to see from this example, but cross multiplication might be a nice little hint. Now, we're going to do some more pure mathematics here, and what we're doing is we're proving cross multiplication. Okay, so for example here I have a over b is equal to c over d, all variables, so they're just representing numbers. Okay, now I'm going to multiply both sides by b, and I'm going to go through and move things around slightly, and what we're going to see is that gives us b over b on the left side, which will cancel to 1. Okay, so we go ahead and cancel that to 1. Now I have a is equal to b times c over d. I want to get rid of that d now on the bottom, so I'm going to multiply both sides by d. Okay, and that leaves me with a times d is equal to b times c over 1, and then I put those d's together there. Again, multiply it all out, and I'll get the expression from the previous step. And that leaves me with a times d equals b times c. Well, a times d is one of the cross products. B times c is the other cross product, and we see that those end up being equal if we do these normal algebraic manipulations that we know. So what we end up with is proving that cross multiples of proportions are equivalent to each other, which will make it really easy to solve these proportions later. So what can we do with this cross multiplication? Let's say we had 3 over 4 is equal to x over 12. Well, we can just multiply the two cross multiples, and we saw earlier that those end up being equal. So 3 times 12 is equal to 4 times x. Now I have a pretty simple equation that I'm very familiar with solving. Okay, go through, divide by 4, and we end up with 9 is equal to one of those x's. Okay, and of course we could do our check step and plug everything in, okay, and verify that these are in fact equivalent ratios.